I will describe in detail the 34th verse of Chapter 1, Pratopadesh, Rasmarana of the Rasayankhand of the Rasayan. We're diving straight into a fascinating, centuries-old alchemical recipe. We're going to deconstruct something that perfectly bridges the gap between historical mysticism and really highly structured early metallurgy. It's like finding a lost blueprint to ancient science. Take a look at this. We're looking directly at a page from an authentic 1939 printed edition of the Rasaratnakara, specifically the Rasayankhand, which was edited by Vijayajadavji Trikamji Acharya. We're zooming right in on a very specific set of instructions. This isn't just nice poetry, guys. It's a remarkably precise laboratory manual for a complex metallurgical process penned centuries ago. Here's our roadmap for this explainer. 1. The ancient verse revealed. 2. Ingredients of the alchemist. 3. The sand bath apparatus. 4. The step-by-step mechanism. 5. Mastering the fire. And 6. The final alchemical transformation. Section 1. The ancient verse revealed. Let's get right into the text. Okay, here is the original Roman transliteration of verse 34. Urdwath ho gandakam, tulyam dativyam, shadapharade, udare pakwam ushya kakam mashi dravam puna. Now, let's break down the shabda artha, or the word meanings, and the anvya, the logical syntax. To an ancient practitioner, these specific words weren't just a chant, they formed a precise chemical equation and a strict set of operational instructions. Which brings us to the literal English translation, and it beautifully illustrates the bhavartha, or the deeper applied meaning. It says, place an equal amount of sulfur above and below purified mercury inside a baked crucible, and add the juice of kakamachi. Notice the incredible precision here? It literally dictates spatial arrangement above and below, and specific states of matter. It's giving us the exact formula for action. But to really grasp this, we need to understand exactly what these substances are in a classical and scientific context. Section 2. Ingredients of the alchemist. This table maps those ancient terms to elements we know today. Let's look at the list of major substances detailed here. First, Shuddha Parada is purified mercury. In its physical state, raw mercury is a highly volatile, toxic liquid. But historically and philosophically, alchemists saw it as the ultimate core element of transformation, deeply symbolic and imbued with divine properties. Then we have Gandhaka, which is sulfur, acting as a crucial reactive agent. We also see tamra, or copper leaves, used as a structural additive, and kakamachi, black nightshade juice, serving as an organic botanical solvent. In the broader chapter, they also experiment with things like swarnamishi essence and the acid group to prepare metals and medicines, but for this verse it's all about that mercury, sulfur, copper, and kakamachi. From a modern pharmaceutical perspective, the acidic and enzymatic properties of that botanical solvent are exactly what aid in the breakdown and purification of the metals. So, what's the ultimate goal of combining all these specific ingredients? It's a classical process called marana, literally translating to killing. Marana in Ayurveda and ancient metallurgy is the intensive process of calcining heavy metals through Pat and Agni rituals, basically specialized heating treatments. The whole historical and philosophical purpose here is to completely destroy the metal's toxic, liquid, and volatile physical state. They wanted to turn it into a bioavailable powder, a bhasma. It's fascinating because modern researchers often compare this to early forms of nanotechnology. They were literally attempting to render a dangerous substance therapeutic on a microscopic level. Section 3. The sand bath apparatus. Let's look at the gear they used. The text dictates the use of a specific instrument called a Valuka yantra, which translates to a sand bath apparatus. This is an absolutely masterful application of ancient thermotechnology. The alchemists would take a glass capsule, the kupi, or an earthen crucible, a musha, and carefully encapsulate the mixture. The purpose of this encapsulation in glass or clay is vital. They would then bury it in a large vessel filled with sand. Why? Because sand acts as an incredible insulator. It ensures that the intense heat from the fire below is distributed evenly. According to their strict thermotechnology rules of thermal configuration, this prevents the crucible from shattering under stress and allows for highly controlled, indirect heating. It's deeply symbolic too, replicating the slow, gestating heat of the earth itself. Section 4. The step-by-step mechanism. How do they actually do it? The whole procedure, the process and combination is meticulously structured step by step. Step 1. You take the purified mercury and sandwich it between equal amounts of sulfur. This intimate contact is essential for the chemical reaction. Step 2 involves mardan, or vigorous trituration. This is where they introduce the kegamachi juice to grind and further break down the particles. Step 3, which is explicitly finalized as the process continues, requires adding 4 times the amount of copper leaves. Finally, Step 4, all of this is sealed airtight within the baked crucible. The purpose here is binding the volatile nature of mercury, encapsulation in the mouth of the vessel, grounding it with sulfur and copper to create a new, stable substance. And historically, the administration of these medicines involved strict dietary formulas, like consuming moonyush, mung bean soup, and odan, or rice, to balance the body, along with specific methods of atonement and mental purification for the practitioner. The dosage, the exact amount of medicine intake, was strictly regulated depending on the target disease.
Section 5. Mastering the fire. This is where it gets intense.
The text demands a highly specific heating protocol known as Kramagna. You don't just toss the crucible into a roaring fire. That would ruin everything. Kramagna is the thermotechnological law of thermal configuration, where the fire's intensity is gradually and systemically increased. You go from mild heat to moderate heat to intense heat. This specific heat curve is absolutely crucial. From a modern metallurgical standpoint, this slow ramping allows for the sequential formation of different sulfide and copper complexes without just vaporizing the mercury entirely. It's brilliant. To measure this precisely, the ancients used a unit of time called a yama. 1 yama is equivalent to approximately 3 hours. Verse 35, which completes the thought of our 34th verse, specifies cooking this sealed, sand-based mixture for 4 yamas. Let that sink in. That is 12 continuous hours of meticulously monitored, gradually increasing heat. It highlights the incredible dedication and rigorous empirical testing that went into these classical texts. And this wasn't just some isolated one-off experiment. We see identical, peer-reviewed procedures corroborated across other major foundational texts. For example, you can find descriptions of this in the Rasanarva, chapter 11, verses 38 through 40. Acharya Somdev details it in the Rasandrachuyamani, chapter 5, verses 40 to 42. Bhagwat Govindaputta talks about it in the Rasahridaya Tantra Abhaboda 5, verse 16. It's even in the Ayurveda Prakash, chapter 1, verses 153 to 156, and it aligns with the broader principles found in the Charak and Sushruta Samhitas. This was established, verified science of its day. Section 6. The final alchemical transformation. So what is the actual result produced? The resulting newly produced substance is mrita parida, or calcined mercury. The toxic liquid silver we started with is completely gone. In its place is a fine, non-volatile powder. If we look at the modern scientific review and research conducted by Ayurveda researchers today using keywords on Google Scholar or PubMed like Bhasma, nanotechnology in Ayurveda, or mercuric sulfide, review articles point to a fascinating toxicology perspective. Modern chemistry and metallurgy tell us this process likely results in a highly stable mercuric sulfide and copper sulfide complex. Now, modern science firmly warns against the internal consumption of heavy metals due to toxicity. That's a fact. But the classical claim and historical belief was that this rigorous transformation rendered it safe and therapeutic. While modern scientific evidence confirms the profound physical transformation of the metal, the medical efficacy as an internal drug remains an unproven claim in modern allopathy. Still, as a feat of early chemistry and nanotechnology, it is undeniably sophisticated. Which leaves us with a final question. What does this meticulous recipe reveal to us about the roots of early historical metallurgy? Well, our key takeaways are clear. It shows that ancient Indian alchemy was not just magic or random mixing. It was a deeply systematic, empirical proto-science, with strict protocols for thermodynamics, chemical ratios, and sequential processing. What's worth learning here is the sheer methodical rigor of our ancestors. Historically, it signifies the birth of complex chemistry. In a modern context, it inspires ongoing research into green synthesis and traditional nanomedicine, topics that definitely should be researched further. It's a profound testament to humanity's relentless drive to understand and master the physical world. On behalf of the Vedmata AI family, if you found our presentation informative, please share our video widely to ensure authentic access to Indian Vedic texts. May knowledge reach every person. Come, let us all participate in this sacrifice of knowledge. Har har.